Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly J Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these crazy earrings. I'll put a list of everything you need in the description below. Got some crazy ones for you this week. Just want to do a quick shout out to my patrons or your continued support over on Patreon. I really appreciate you guys. I'll put your names on the screen. Thanks everyone. So to make these earrings you'll need 0.8mm wire, which is 20 gauge. I've cut 6 lengths at 11 inches, which is 28 centimetres. I'm also using 0.315mm weaving wire, which is 28 gauge. I've wound quite a bit onto my bobbin. If you don't have a bobbin, don't worry, you can just cut lengths as you go. I'll put the actual measurement on the screen so we can work that out at the end, and I'll give it you now. I'm going to be using a load of jump rings and a few beads, so I'll put those on the screen as well because I haven't worked out those. I shall know those towards the end. What else? You'll need jump rings for the top and you'll need ear wires. So tools, I've got my pliers, round nose pliers, wire cutters and nylon pliers. If you don't have nylon pliers, don't worry. I just like having these handy for flattening the weave and compressing the weave, flattening the weave, straightening the wires. These are prestige, these are brilliant, and they don't really cost much. All my tools are Tronex. And I'll put a list of all these in the description below. All of this, I'll write it all down in the description below. So cut your wires to the length that I have. Take 3 of your base wires. If you position your thumb centrally on those wires, we're going to start weaving about 1 inch to the left of your thumb. So that's about 2.5 centimetres. So Gracie's snoring already. So take your weaving wire and we'll start with 3 wraps around the bottom wire. So we wrap around 2 wires, so go over the second. Then we wrap around 3 wires, so go over the top. So then we come up between the top 2 wires and we wrap around that top wire. So we go 5 times around that top wire. Then we go around all 3. Then we go around the bottom 2, so we're going over the second wire. Then we go around the bottom wire. 3, 4, 5 times. Push it together. And that's our repeat. So the next part, we're going to go around all 3. Is that right? No, we go around 2. Go around the 2 wires. Go around all 3. Come up between the top 2. And we go around the top wire 5 times. Go around all 3. Go around the bottom 2. Go around the bottom wire 5 times. Can you see the repeat? And keep pushing it together as you're going. So keep pushing it together as you go. I've done about 6 centimetres of weave. Also, I like to flatten my weave so it looks nice and flat. And keep pushing it together as you go. So I've pushed mine together after every repeat that I did. Every time I wrapped 5 times, I then pushed it together. keeps it all nice and tidy. So we can cut this off from the beginning. Press down that little cut end, and now we need to shape our weave around. So carefully take the weave and gently start to shape it around. So you want a nice circular kind of shape there. And when we're doing earrings, it's always best to work them both at the same time so we can keep matching them up as we go. So if you jump back to the beginning, take your other 3 wires and then weave that weave. What you need to do is make sure that that weave ends up in the middle of your wires. So as I started an inch to the left, I think I slid my weave along a little bit because it weren't quite central. So start a little bit further over to the left and try and get those weaves central on the wires, and we'll do that to the other one. So you can cut this weaving wire. Let's have a look. Cut this weaving wire off. You could even count your repeats. I mean, it was 6 centimeters, wasn't it? As long as you do the same length on the other one. So we've got 2 exactly the same. If you want your weave to be 6 centimeters long, you need to start 3 centimeters to the left of that point. So if you position your thumb centrally, we need to start 3 centimeters to the left of those wires there. So I've done that to the other one, so you have 2 exactly the same, roughly the same shape, kind of same size. So with the right side facing you, and it has got a back, if you look at the weave on the back, it's slightly different. So you want the right side facing you. We're going to take the 2 wires up. We're going to take the other 2 wires up. And then this wire is going to come out like that. And this one out. So then these 4 wires, we're going to weave along those wires next. So you can bring those together. So weaving across all 4 wires, we'll go 5 times around the bottom wire. Push it down, over the 3rd wire, come up between the bottom 2, over the top wire, then we go 5 wraps around the top wire, push it together, come up between the bottom 2, go over the top, so we've gone around the top 3, come onto the bottom wire, go over the 3rd, so we've gone around the bottom 3, and then we wrap around the bottom wire 5 times. So this weave is going to look quite similar to this weave, only we're going straight up the bail this time. It is pulling the middle wires together a little bit, so I'm just going to press that flat. So keep pushing it together. Every time you wrap the 5 wraps, push it together, and we'll repeat that. Keep repeating that weave. So make sure you keep pushing it together as you go, and it actually looks quite pretty, that weave does. So I've done about 4 centimeters of that weave, and I'm going to leave a little bit of length on there. Cut that, and then take the other one and do the same. So make sure you've got the front facing you, because the back of the weave does look a little bit different. Make sure your weave is all pushed together. Bend the wires up at the top like we did on this one, and do that same weave for 4 centimeters on this one, so they're both exactly the same. So I've done the weave the same length as the other one. I'll cut the weaving wire off from the beginning there. So next we're going to bend the weave. Now when you're doing earrings, I do recommend that you use bail pliers so that you get them both the same size. I forgot to mention at the beginning, so I'll have to add that in there. But if you take your bail pliers, kind of grip centrally, and as you bend the weave over, you can adjust it a little so it fits. You just want the weave to meet there at the back. So we've got this lovely long bail. So at the bottom here where the bail meets, so we're looking at the back, I'm going to wrap around the whole thing a few times, and then wrap a few times around the back wire just to strap that bail down. Cut that weaving wire off and pressure cut end. Do that to the other one too. So next take the middle 2 wires, bend them back a bit, and bring them through the middle there to the front. So we're going to choose a point won't focus. I'm going to choose a point and then I'll try and get it to focus. So I'm going to grip the wires here. I'm going to take this wire up first, because I want it to go over the tip of the pliers. Then I'm going to grip this wire in the same place, because I want it to go over the tip, because I want quite a shallow bend in the wire. So both wires come up. I'm going to pinch them a little bit, not much, because I want to get a jump ring through there. Through that gap there. Right, so you need 2 5mm outside measurement, 2 6, and 2, I think that might be a 12. Yeah, 12mm outside measurement. So that's the size I'm going for the size that I've made. If yours is slightly bigger or smaller, then you'll need slightly different sized jump rings. My bead, I think, is 8. Let's have a little look. Yeah, 8mm bead. We're going to attach that to that one. So what we do is you take your smaller one, make sure your other two are closed nicely. Take your smaller one, open it up and pop both of those onto it. Close it up. So the little one is in the middle. The 5mm is in the middle and the 6 is at the top. And then take a short piece of weaving wire. Take your bead. And we're going to attach it to the large jump ring. I'm going to put my join at the top so it doesn't get in the way and keep coming out. And we're going to wrap a few times around the one side. So I've gone 3 times around the one side. Push your bead to the middle, and then this side we're going to wrap around the other side. So give it a pull and make sure your bead is nice and central and it fits on there. Go around a couple of times. And then take your weaving wire back through your bead so that the bead is nice and secure. So we'll go through so it pops out the other side. Pull it through nice and tight. My wire broke. Been a bit too heavy-handed with it. Wrap a few times around that side. Cut off your ends. Go across where the joins to the bead are. Then the 6mm jump ring goes over those 2 wires. And pull it all the way down to sit there. Got a nice little dangle in there. Quite like that. So then you need to take your other ones, your other jump rings and your other bead, and do the same to the other one. So you've got 2 the same. These are going to be very dangly earrings. So we'll join those wires together above where the bead is so that we don't lose our jump ring. So wrap a few times around the one wire. Slide it down around the 2 wires. Come up between, around the top wire, around the bottom wire. Do that again. So those wires are joined. Part the wires. And what we're going to do is we're going to shape them up and around to the top. Let's shape them now so we can see what we're doing. So these wires are going to come up and meet at the top of the bail there, like that. And I'm going to pop a little bead at the bottom here. So we'll take our weaving wire around this wire a couple of times just to bring it up a bit higher. And then we'll pop a little bead on there. So I've wrapped around a few more times so that my wire is a little bit higher, so my bead can fit in the gap. And I've got a 2mm bead. And that'll sit there in that gap. And then to get this to go, because if I'm going to post the wraps around so they fill that gap there, otherwise my wraps I'm going to come up here. So what I'm going to do is go underneath and come up there. Do you know what I mean? Try again. There we go. So wrap it around, pull the bead into place. And then I'm going to keep wrapping around that wire there to fill that gap. So posting it around. So then cut that tail end off. And that one. Press down those little cut ends. Then we need to catch up with the other one really. So take the other one. Jump back if you need to. We're going to do the joins up the middle and shape the top wire out, adding the little bead in the middle. So I've done that to the other one too. I'm going to take this wire next and I'm going to scoop it round the other way. And we're going to do the same to this one. Push it down at the base and scoop it around the other way. So bring the wires around and down, and then bring the wires across so they cross at the top of that top jump ring. We'll do that shaping again with the other one. So take this wire, push it down at the base and scoop it up and over, and then take this one and do the same. So we're pushing it down at the base because we're changing the direction of it, and we just scoop it around the other way. Gently bring it around, and if you do it slowly you can see the wire taking shape. I want quite a low, small shape on that one. And then we bring the wires down at the bottom. Ooh, use my nail a bit then. So just slowly shape the wires around. They come down to a peak at the bottom there. Not got much further to go. This video's ended up being longer than I wanted it to be. So here where the wires meet, grip and wiggle. So now the wires are next to each other. And we're just going to attach with a little bit of weaving wire there. So attach to one wire with a few wraps. Slide it up. Wrap around the whole thing a couple of times. Then finish with a few wraps on this side. I'm going to go around that way just to be awkward. And then my wraps end up at the top to match this side. Again, another one that's ended up different to how I first planned it. It's a little bit like it, that weaving wire off at both ends. Press those cut ends down with your pliers. Looking at that point again, I'm going to grip it with my pliers. And we're going to bend both the wires up at that point there. And send them out to the sides. So then go to the, so I've scooped those wires over a little bit. Then go back to those two wires at the back. At the bottom there of those wires, bend them up at the back. And grip the other one. Bend that up too. And those two are going to come over and scoop around to meet these wires at the front. Let's take them to the back of those front wires. Just try and keep it nice and simple. We can finish those off around the top. So if these two go around first, and I'm going to cut them as I press them back over the top. And then these two come over the same and go around. Just finish across the top there, just give them a little squeeze on that side. Make sure they're not going to start moving around. These two are going to go around the sides. And that needs to be the same angle as that one. So I'm going to finish off this one exactly the same, but as I go I'm going to try and match it up to the other one. Right, so I finished the other one, I matched it up the same, and I've put big 12mm jump rings through the top, and I'm going to run and oxidise, and then I shall add ear wires to the top jump rings, and I shall come back and show you. So there we have them finished. I've attached the jump rings and the ear wires to the top there. I used quite large jump rings in the end because there were so many wires going around the top. I still wanted them to be quite dangly. So there we go. I hope you managed to follow this tutorial okay and I didn't cause too much confusion. A huge shout out to my patrons from Patreon for your continued support. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys. So thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.